Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm working on a body with a friend of mine in mind here. I've been away from this for a while, but I have spent some time since then. So last time I was working on these kind of stumps, the torso stumps, the little hands up here. I had, since the last video, I've come through and I've worked on the backwards walk. If I take this into the action template here, we can see that it's walk, hold, walk, hold. If I take the overlay and base out, it's walking animation, basically. So one foot goes forward, then back, and then the other foot goes forward and back. So what that looks like, we'll have to see. I also have the pull frame, pretty simple. I had just kind of taken some copies, basically, of the stuff up here and cut down this one here. I kind of cut it in half from the top and the bottom, and then added little arm stumps on the side so that there's something that the player's arms actually attached to on there. Got another look at in this frames here. I've also come through and done some animation. So I remember when we were originally doing this body, if we look at the first cut, kind of had a stance where he was looking like a brutal biker guy. Here the stance is similar, but the animation or like the art is very flat. Since I've come back with that kind of more Graal style, I've managed to do a similar body. It's got the same kind of attitude. He's got a little bit of a crook in his arm here. I'm pretty happy with the way that this has turned out. The boot on the back side is a little bit less articulated, like it's not as apparent as in the original flat one here, but the one in the front is almost identical to this one here. So I'm pretty happy with that. He looks kind of cool when he stands there. He's got a little bit of an attitude to him, and it actually lines up with the other animation frames. So I just want to touch on how that went. If I look in here, this is the base template. And if I look at this base template, this is body.png, I think the template is. So basically what I've done is I've come through and I've looked at where these arms are. So in the initial base that I've got here, I do have an alteration on that. He's got a little bit of attitude. But if I look into the subsequent frames in the animation, you can see that this one here, that pretty much follows directly where the other hands are going here. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And you can see again here, these hands are actually in another layer that I've just attached, this overlay layer that I can kind of pop in and pop out, because what had happened is I'd taken the base stumps, the base body stumps, and I did my feet with the stumps, and then from there I took an overlay to do the arms so I can keep the arms in the right location. If we look into the action template frames, this is an interesting thing to note in our base template, is that our idle frame, so our idle frame will play into the walk frame. When we're walking, it goes walk one, like the animation that plays is walk one, walk two, walk three, walk four, and then swing one. Swing one is actually part of the walking animation, which is a little bit counterintuitive, but sometimes you'll have people, they'll do their art and all of a sudden the head pops out or some weird little jitty animation goes on, and that's because swing one is actually part of the walk animation. At a very low level, you have a frame that you might not be accounting for. So what that means for animating is that you have to consider it as five individual animated frames. So this third frame is super important to get right. You can't just copy these two and put them into walk three and walk four and then invert them. If your animation is simple, actually you need to have that walk three frame be kind of similar to the first idle frame. In this scenario here, I've not really done the same thing. I mean, I could have probably taken this and put it in the idle frame if I was really that interested. I've also given him a little bit of attitude with his chest. If you can see here, it's just 2 or 3 pixels on either side that's different. But as he's walking, see here, it's got a little bit of a curvature to it, and then down here it straightens out. So that's just to give it the appearance that it's kind of bouncing up and down while he's running along. He's got a little bit of a wave in his shirt that continues to flap back and forth. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. I've worked on it pretty seriously over the last few days, And I'm going to now take you to another kind of a tool. So this is in Google here. I've done the Graal image tester. It's actually called the Graal previewer or the Gani Viewer. Good old Dusty has made us a tool that we can use. So you click this one and it brings up this image. And this guy here is a little newbie character. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see him. Zoom in 3 so you can really see him. And he has all of the basic pieces. So I'm going to remove the hat. I'll keep his head. I'm going to remove accessory. I'm going to remove the shield and the sword. No, sword I'll leave there. Why not? And you have a bunch of different animation stuff here. So default, he's going to be running and slashing his little sword. I really want to look at walk and idle. And then we can also look at the pull push upwards. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab in my pixel art folder here. I have my Jotaru Kujo body test, and basically what that is, it's just this this appearance here. So I'll have the walking animation here, and then down below here I'm also going to have the walking animation with the cloak in behind. So I'm going to take that one, I'll select that image, and from there you can see that little walk. Like I said, it's default now, so there's some missing frames, but if I go to the walk animation, this is walk. Looks pretty good. It's a little bit janky, but I don't think I've ever seen a Graal body that wasn't a little bit janky, especially with the head kind of bouncing up and down. But there's a couple of things that I noticed here. One is the belt looks really good, really apparent. The other thing is that these little chains actually kind of show up with the base head. I mean, I don't know what head is going to be used with this body, but with the basic head, it actually shows up pretty nicely. I'm really happy with that. You got the buttons or the clips on the collar or on the what's that on this part. I don't know, what is that called? You got the attachers on the side of the cloak there. Idle, if we do idle, he's got that little, oh no you didn't, look, got the arm down and one arm up there. If I go down to pull, I'm gonna go pull up. We got the pull up going on there where he's like, argh. That looks pretty good. And then push. Oh no, okay. What is the one? Carry. That must be the one. There we go. And that looks really good too. I'm really happy with this one. The way that the feet are coming up, it actually really looks like the feet in Graal. It looks proper. Okay, so that's about it. If I'm looking at the other images in here, the stuff that I'm going to be working on next is going to be the side view. Essentially, I'll be looking at copying that down, and from there I'll be looking into which ones I'm working on. And similar to these frames down here, like I would want to run these frames through first. I would want to make these frames, and then from there I can make it kind of come up here. I really wanted to get these ones right in the downward facing. And have that kind of be the basis of the other frames, whereas in the side view frames, that's a mouthful, side view frames, I'm going to work on the simple ones first and then bring them up, because it's not as detailed. When you look at the front view is super detailed. If I'm looking at the side view, these are only two each, and I can use those up at the top. So the downward facing one is super important to animate really properly, but the one left, right, it's not so difficult. It's essentially the same thing. Like if you look here and you look here, these two are almost identical to each other. It's a lot easier to do the side ones anyways. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this episode. I just wanted to kind of go over the progress that I have, give everybody a heads up as to what the next pieces I'm working on are, and showcase that Gani Viewer. Okay, so thanks everybody. Hope you're enjoying. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.